Section 11.5. Our objective today is I can use the formulas for circumference and area of circles. So notice the circles that I have here, and notice the polygons inside the circles. Notice that the more sides a polygon has, the closer it comes to a circle. And remember that the perimeter of a polygon is the sum of all the sides. Well, as we get more and more sides to the polygon, then, as I said, the polygon gets closer and closer to a circle. So there's some number of sides where you cannot tell the polygon from the circle. And that number of sides is what we refer to as the limiting number, okay? And so the circumference of a circle is defined as the limiting number that gives the perimeter. Okay, so remember, so circumference is the name for perimeter when we're talking about circles. Okay, and area is basically the same idea. The area of the polygon that fits inside the circle that makes it pretty much look like a circle. Okay. Now, there is a very, very important ratio, and that is the ratio of the circumference to the diameter. Okay, so circumference to diameter. Okay. In other words, C over D, that ratio, okay? That ratio is a constant for all circles. So no matter what size circle, what the circumference of the circle and the diameter of the circle, that is a constant number for all circles. And we note that number with the Greek symbol pi, okay? And pi is a irrational number, so it is a decimal that never repeats and never terminates. And so we use several approximations for pi. So very often we use the 3.14, or we also use 22 over 7. Those are approximations for pi. All right? And so the formulas are the formulas that you already know. So circumference equals 2 pi r if we're talking about a circle with radius r. If we're talking about a circle with diameter, then circumference is represented by pi times the diameter, okay? And the formula for area of a circle is area equals pi r squared. And that's easy to recognize because remember, area is always squared, okay? So examples. Find the circumference of a circle with radius 8 square root 3. Okay, so the formula circumference equals 2 pi r. Oops. So we fill in what we know. we simplify, and unless you are given a value to substitute for pi, or you're told to use a certain approximation, you leave your answer in terms of pi. So the circumference, the distance around, is 16 square root 3 pi units squared. Okay? Find the area of the circle. Okay? So area is pi r squared. So that's 8 square root 3 times 8 square root 3 times pi is really what we're doing. So 8 times 8 is 64. Square root 3 times square root 3 is square root 9. So we get 64 times 3 pi. So 64 times 3 is 192. So it's 192 pi units squared. Okay? All right. Example 2. Okay? This is how you might use some of these things in real life. So a bicycle wheel has a diameter of 60 centimeters. How far will it travel if it makes 50 revolutions? Use pi approximately 3.14. Okay? So if the tire has a diameter of 60 centimeters, then we need to find its circumference. So circumference equals pi times d. So we get 60 pi centimeters is the circumference. Okay? And so we're told to use 3.14 for the approximation. So 60 times 3.14 gives us 188.4 centimeters. Okay? And so the distance it travels is, it goes around 50 times. So it travels this distance 50 times. So the distance can't spell distance today. The distance is 50 times the circumference. So it's going to be approximately 50 times 188.4, which gives us 9,420 centimeters. So it will travel about 9,420 centimeters, or 94.2 meters if we divide by 100. Okay? Okay, one more example. Example 3. A circular swimming pool has radius of 14 feet. So you have to pay attention to whether you're given radius or diameter. What is the area of the swimming pool? Use pi approximately 22.7. Okay, so we want area of the swimming pool, so area of a circle is pi r squared. So we have 14 squared times pi. And so we have 14 squared times 22 over 7. So that's really 14 times 14 times 22 over 7. So we get 14 times 2 times 22, which equals 616, and that's going to be feet squared. So the area of the pool is 616 feet squared.